Welcome back. So, one thing that everybody's talking about right now, of course, is reverse retro. When are they going to be released? What's going to happen? The one thing is, there's been a lot of leaks. A lot of leaks. Question marks are the ones that we're not sure about. A lot of these are going to be close to what we think they're going to be. I'm still surprised the NHL hasn't actually released them since, at a retail level, they are coming out next month. Unless they're going to release them like in terms of a video package, maybe a couple of days before they go live, right, on the different websites and all that other fun stuff. But at a retail level, they're supposed to be out in September. So, kind of surprised we haven't seen them. But what I want to do, I want to give a visual presentation of this too, not just the text on the board. So, we're going to start with Anaheim. The speculation's been we'll get this one in a white jersey, which I think would look really nice. And I really wouldn't have anything to complain about, other than there are other old designs they could have done in a either orange or a white. But yeah, I think it'll be fine in a white jersey. There were actually rumors that the Ducks were going to change to this as their regular jersey and use a white version of this as a road jersey. So maybe the reverse retro would be a way into that, because they have been voted as the most bland regular jerseys in the league. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand why people feel that way, and I think it's a comparison with these. Ah, yes, the Space Coyote. So it looks like we're going to be getting another version of this or something. Maybe we get it on white. The Space Coyote thing really honestly comes down to the moon, the coyote, and the Simpsons episode where the coyotes ends up in the moon. And so in your face, Space Coyote was born for me anyways. But yeah, so I like the original. I'm glad I have the original. I'm also glad I have the reverse retro. If they have it in white, one thing we know is it sells, right? It absolutely does. So it's a smart move from a marketing perspective to do another version of this. You know, there are so many really nice winning looks that the Bruins have had. This is not one of them. This was a rough period for the Bruins, too. When they wore these, they had some rough seasons. But what's old and ugly is new and not considered ugly anymore, I guess. So it looks like we're going to get this on a white jersey. I guess. Again, this is pure speculation. I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong on this one. Because, again, Boston has so many nice jerseys from the past you could do something fun with. I understand from a marketing perspective this might sell out, but yeah, these were not, as much as we talk about the Islanders and the Fishermen, this one's right up there in terms of teams that you would not think would consider bringing back. Well, there it is. So Buffalo revealed today that this is going to be a third jersey. So they've changed the shading a little bit on the Buffalo, on the goat head, and they made it a little different. They even referred to it as the goat head in the Twitter post. I would think the stripes may end up being a little bit different as well. The jersey itself, the third's going to be revealed in November. But the reverse retro, it's been speculated, will actually be this on a blue jersey. So it would be the goat head on a blue and gold jersey like they currently wear. And I am absolutely in favor of that. Will this eventually be their regular jersey again? I honestly wouldn't be that surprised. Buffalo's made some surprising decisions along the way. Hello, Buffaslug. It would not surprise me if they made that decision as well. So, speculation is it's going to be this in black. The Calgary Flames would have this in a black jersey. And honestly, I'm all over that. I like this jersey, not as the regular. When they switched this to the regular look, I know it was confusing to many. Because the jersey they've gone back to as a regular home and away is their nicest design. And when they switched to this, yeah, that was kind of baffling because the pedestal part of it is weird in and of itself. But yeah, I think this on black, I think they'll clean this up a little bit. I think it's going to look really, really nice. Carolina, we don't know yet. I would think maybe not a Hartford. You could do this in Hartford colors, right? And you could do this in a white jersey. You could do it in a red jersey. This, of course, being the logo that they got rid of because this is actually tropical storm flag. The double flag is a hurricane flag. This is tropical storm flag. So, yeah, I mean, I think they could do something with a throwback to this. They don't have a lot else, though, for them to do a throwback to. So I think it's part of the reason why they lean on the Whalers the way they do. So what's leaked out with the Chicago Blackhawks is a similar design to this in that it's got all the stripes. One large stripe here with Chicago written in it, and then their logo on the shoulders. I don't know if that one's going to sell that well. That's one of the ones I look at and I think that might end up sitting for a while. I don't know how much excitement there would be for a logo that's just Chicago across the front. Word marks can be tricky that way. I know when Detroit did that for the 75th anniversary for the NHL, uh, eh, it was okay, but it wasn't necessarily great. And I kind of feel like that's the reaction we're going to get with Chicago. Because, yeah, Blackhawks, there's a lot to choose from, much like Boston. We'll see how well the Chicago jersey sells when it comes out. The Avs are apparently doing a Rockies style throwback. Now, the Colorado Rockies logo is very similar to the one they have on their third jersey already. So they've already kind of, in my mind, paid homage to the Colorado Rockies. But there's the C on the shoulder. This, of course, being, part of the flag for Colorado for the state. So this, it being the logo that they had on the t-shirt that leaked out from Fanatics. Thanks, Fanatics, tells you that this will probably be on the front of the jersey. It apparently could be a white jersey and would have this kind of striping around the bottom of it. It could look really nice. We'll see how it turns out. But it's not a Nordiques throwback, which I think is an improvement. I haven't seen anything leak out with Columbus yet, but one suspicion is that maybe they'll do a throwback to this third jersey they had at one point. This, of course, would become their primary logo to replace this one. So maybe they do a black version of this. They could do the old logo on the front. You could have this on the front as well, right? So, because they've changed the secondary logo from this to the cannon, of course. They could have some fun with it. Again, with it being Columbus, we'll see how well it sells. The funny thing with Columbus was that it didn't feel like they were available very long when the reverse retros came out, but I did wonder as well how many people ordered, right? Was there strong demand or was there no demand? Was there not a lot of product, or did we end up seeing more of them sell than we might have expected? But I think a throwback to this would be nice. This third jersey was the first Columbus jersey I really, really liked. The sleeves are black. The jersey itself is blue. It looks really sharp. You can reverse those colors. Again, throw this on the front. I think you got a winner. I'll never understand why Dallas changed from this logo, ever. But yeah, so the speculation with Dallas, this logo here on the front of the jersey, because this is the one that was on the t-shirt, again, posted on the Fanatic site, and that maybe this star jersey would be black with green outline, and of course the gold and the white as well. It'll work. The last time out, of course, their reverse retro, a lot of people didn't like it. It grew on me, and I have to say that having one, and especially if you have the name and number on it, it actually ends up looking quite nice. With Detroit, the speculation's been a throwback to one of their previous identities before they were the Red Wings, including the Falcons. You'd be looking at something like this, right, for Detroit. Color change, obviously, some kind of reverse. One thing that drove me insane with some of the reverse retros, and I'm looking at Blasty, I'm looking at the Lady Liberty, there wasn't much that was reverse about them. So the retro was there, but where was the reverse? So with Detroit, it gets tricky because their color scheme really hasn't changed over almost a century. So doing something that is completely different than what they wore back then might be kind of difficult without introducing a color they haven't worn before. And ask Toronto fans about the gray on their jerseys the last time out, and see what kind of response you get. It's a little interesting when they put a color in there that the team didn't actually have in their history. So we'll see what Detroit comes up with. We're getting the gear jersey back. Apparently this will be orange here. The rest of it looks pretty much the same, and it'll be on their it looks like it'll be their current color scheme they'll use. I really, really think this jersey is going to sell like crazy. I think it'll probably be one of the most popular out of this round of reverse retros. May end up actually being the best seller. The one that we see is sold out immediately. It looks like Florida's getting creative with their reverse retro. First off, this logo on the shoulder here will be on the front of the jersey. This apparently is going to be the prime color for said jersey, and something similar in the striping to this on that blue color, with this as the primary in the front. That could end up looking really, really nice. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out for them. Yellow jerseys were in vogue in the 80s. You had the Kings, you had Pittsburgh, you had Vancouver. All of them wore yellow as their home jersey instead of white. This is an example of this, and apparently their reverse retro will be this design, but a white jersey instead. It's just going to look nice. And again, it's really easy, right? You just change this to white and this to yellow. You could do it in Photoshop in 2 seconds and go, hey, got your design done. Which may very well be how some of these designs come into existence. But it's going to be fun to see how this turns out. I do expect it to sell. The Kings have so many different designs they can go to. At some point in time, I hope we get another purple one, but this'll suffice. This was a tough one to get when it came out. This time around, it's probably going to be tough to get as well, but in green. One good thing about this time around with the reverse retros, there shouldn't be the shortages of supply like we had last time. So hopefully, there's more of these beautiful jerseys in green, so we can really enjoy the Minnesota North Stars throwback. And then the next time around, the Minnesota Wild would hopefully do something that's more Wild related than North Stars related, but we'll see. It would appear that the Montreal Canadiens are doing that which I never thought they would do. We're blue again. It's going to be Expos colors, so a tribute to the Montreal Expos. And I'm surprised because they didn't win a game wearing these jerseys. That's why I don't wear it very often in videos. I do like the jersey. I think it's gorgeous. Again, really easy to do in Photoshop. Just switch this, switch that, and you're done. Work's finished. You can go home for the day. But yeah, I really like this one. I think I'm going to like it in Expos colors too. But what if they lose? Say the first two games they wear it, they get absolutely destroyed. And you know, at what point do the Montreal Canadiens say, you know, we're just not going to wear blue anymore? It's sad the Montreal Expos are gone, but we're just not going to do it. I saw one rendering online with Nashville that was basically a yellow version of this jersey with this secondary logo on the front. That's as good a guess as any. Nashville wasn't a huge seller last time out. Can they generate that this time out? Apparently the Meth Tiger not coming back, but that hasn't been confirmed yet, so... But it's probably not coming back, is it? For the Devils, it's going to be a Kansas City Scouts throwback. So what I'm hoping is that either New Jersey or Colorado aren't white as they appear to be, and that when they play against each other, we could have a Scouts versus Rockies game, because that'd be awesome. That being said, it's going to be weird to see a New Jersey Devils logo in these colors, but I think it could be fun too for something different. One thing I wonder with reverse retro, at what point in time does the NHL look at this 32-team league and say, okay, we've done the reverse retro, let's do something different. But for now, reverse retro, it'll be Kansas City for New Jersey. So it's coming back. Very surprised it's coming back. Surprised Lou is okay with it. It's going to sell. The one thing about this is, it's not, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's going to be reversed. It looks like all they're doing is taking out the teal. Reverse would be doing some different colors with it, but at any rate, again, it'll sell. It'll be very popular. We'll see how it turns out. Apparently, it's going to be a white Lady Liberty. That's the expectation. I don't know how much they're going to change, but again, the last Liberty jersey they did was more of a throwback than a reverse retro, and would have worked as a third. So hopefully, when the reverse retro program is done again this year, just put this back into the rotation as a third. The fans would appreciate it. And I still think it's a really sharp. This is one of my favorite Rangers jerseys overall, so bringing this back is a win for me. With the Sens, the speculation's been some kind of a version of this jersey. This, of course, being very similar to what they were now, just with the white stripe. The funny thing is, when they brought back the original jersey, I said, okay, so eventually they'll bring the white stripe back too, because it does break up all that black and red, and it just gives it something different in terms of its look. And here we are. Apparently we're getting something like this for their third jersey. I wish we were getting the Scooby-Doo eyes too. You can't get everything. The Flyers have never changed their logo. This is a team that has stayed remarkably consistent with its branding, but they've changed their striping a lot, so maybe they'll do something different with the striping. I saw one speculation that maybe they do a Philadelphia Quakers throwback, where they do like a Flyers text for a Quakers. That might be all right. I don't know how well that would sell. But yeah, this is a Marty Biron jersey too, just for mention that. But I mean, you could do something fun using one of the old striping patterns they've used. Basically, the jerseys they wear now are very similar to the jerseys they were wearing in the 60s, 70s, early 80s. So there's not enough of a difference there, I would think, for that to qualify as a reverse retro. But we've been surprised before. So it'll be the Robo Penguin for Pittsburgh. Of course, people want it on black. I think this should come back as a third jersey. The speculation though, really it's been shown it's going to be Pittsburgh. It's going to be a gold jersey as well. Keep in mind they did have a white jersey with the Robo Penguin on the front. If they did a gold jersey, and I know people don't like Pittsburgh using as much gold as they do with their jerseys. I know when they retired the other third, people were happy, but the team really likes wearing gold. So At the very least, the people in charge like putting the team in gold jerseys. So as much as I'd like to see something like this come back, odds are maybe they have a gold jersey and maybe this stripe around here they could do in black. So have this still gray and then have this as just black. Could look really, really nice. Either way, Robo Penguin, it's going to be nice to see it back. The one thing I remember about the Robo Penguin, though, was they changed to the Robo Penguin and stopped winning Stanley Cups. That's the one thing I noticed, and then they went back to the original design, started winning Stanley Cups again. So if you're superstitious, you probably don't want it back as a regular jersey. If you've been looking forward to a Seals throwback, you're in luck. The Sharks are apparently going to wear something like this, just in white, that says Sharks across the front. So it looks like it's going to be a similar color of green to this. The yellow may be in the stripe up here, and the jersey itself will be in white. That's one of those ones too I'm going to be interested to see. Does it sell? Are people really going to want to wear Seals? Like, I've got Seals jerseys. I've got like 5 of them. In every case, they were relatively easy to get at the time, and supplies weren't a problem. Now they are. But they weren't really that popular. Will it be popular as a Sharks jersey? Could they bring it back as a third at some point? And an example of this is there's speculation that the Blasty jersey that was the reverse retro 2 years ago, the Flames are going to use that as a third this year. So it is possible that some of the reverse retros end up being thirds. It'd be great if the Kings did that with that purple one from a couple years ago, but they've been very clear that was a one-time thing. So Seattle appears not to be going in this direction, which really surprises me. So the reverse retro logo on the t-shirt that again got leaked out by Fanatics is the same one they currently have with the same color scheme. It doesn't mean we don't get something like this. Probably not. But with their current logo, and if they use the right, again, is it ugly? Sure. Yep. I can agree with that. This one I actually got is from Abbotsford. So if you're wondering, this is an Abbotsford flannel. Really, really well made. They're pricey, but they're a very well made product. Actually out of Seattle. And so when Seattle was given the expansion team, I was like, I can't get a Seattle jersey, so I ordered this sweater instead. It is a sweater. So that's why I call them jerseys or sweaters. I can call them both. When it's wool like this, it's a sweater. So yeah, it's a shame we're not going to get exactly this, because I think in an Adidas exactly this would be entertaining. But you know, this is where we're at. St. Louis hasn't done an 80s throwback yet. Is this the year? Do they do this in gold? I've seen that speculated on too. So St. Louis, there's nothing released yet with St. Louis, so I'm just throwing this out there as a suggestion that the 80s jerseys, kind of nice. Wouldn't mind seeing them back in some form. They had some nice designs too in the 70s. Like there's been little subtle changes to the St. Louis jerseys throughout. You go to NHL, I think it's NHLuniforms.com. You can go through year by year and see just minor changes and tweaks, and some of them are really nice with St. Louis. It'd be interesting to see if they pulled one of those ones from like the late 70s out or something like this from the early 80s. It could be interesting. When Tampa Bay made this their reverse retro, I was grateful because I had been trying to get a Storm jersey, and to me, this was the same color as the Storm jersey, just without all the lightning bolts and everything. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not getting a Storm jersey then. I still don't have one. It is the Grail jersey. However, it is apparently coming. The next reverse retro will be a Storm jersey. So as beautiful and as clean and as fantastic as this is, the next one is going to be loud and obnoxious, and it's going to be added to the collection. I'm going to be very grateful that it is. Speculation's been that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to have a similar jersey to this one, making a comeback. One thing that I will predict, we will likely never see that logo again from the 80s, 90s that they wore. Any throwback will always have one of the earlier designs on it. It's a better logo. It looks better. It's sharper. It's yeah. So we'll see if it is something similar to this. Leafs jerseys, again, you know, there's not a lot you can do when it comes to the whole reverse retro part of it. But I mean, if you did this in blue, I don't think they've worn this in blue with a white maple leaf for quite some time. And so I think that would work. Because again, this was their third jersey for a while. And so we'll see if they go back to it. So it's a blue Johnny Canuck for the Vancouver Canucks. This is an Abbotsford Canucks jersey. But basically it's similar in that the new one is going to be blue. It is going to be a 60s style Johnny Canuck. And this is why. Because if you did a blue version and you had this logo on the front, well, then it's the same as your AHL affiliate. So they're going with something a little bit different. I think it's going to be quite popular. I like the look of it. I think it's going to be really nice. And so we'll see how that all turns out. But yeah, I think it's going to be just fine. Everybody wanted Johnny Canuck. Now people will complain about how they're bringing back Johnny Canuck and what does he look like and how about his biceps? It's Johnny Canuck is Johnny Canuck. So as Vegas changes to these as their regular home jerseys and the charcoal gray, this color here, those jerseys will become the third jerseys. At least that's what I've heard. The speculation with Vegas is a black jersey in the reverse retro with a word mark across it, either diagonally, horizontal. I think it's diagonal the way they're doing it. And so that could look really nice, and I would expect some kind of a Wranglers tie-in, right? Or some kind of a tie-in with Vegas's past in hockey. And a black Vegas jersey, I think, could look absolutely fantastic and could sell really, really well. I am, of course, not a huge fan of wordmark jerseys. I'm going to do a video at some point before the season gets started on wordmarks I think that work and ones that I don't think do. Because I've got a ton of jerseys. Almost every team's done some sort of a wordmark or had a wordmark in their jersey. Thinking of Vancouver here they did have Vancouver over top of their logo. So we'll see how Vegas does, but if they have this style of gold as the font, if they have a little bit of this shiny gold in there, again, this is as Vegas as it gets, is this sparkly gold. There are so many sparkles in Vegas, and I say that as somebody who was there roughly a month ago now. And yeah, so this is my expectation is it'll be something black. And I think that's nice because if somebody thinks this is too loud and gaudy, then yeah, you offer them a black jersey, which is classic and kind of a little more understated. I think that's a good way to go. The Fanatics leak seems to have confirmed what we thought was coming. The Screaming Eagle on a black background, I would think that it'll have these Capitol buildings on the shoulders. Of course, remember, the Capitol building was on the front of the black third that they had that became their regular jersey as well. So, yeah, I think the Screaming Eagle eventually ends up being the primary again for the Capitals. Something tells me if this jersey sells nearly as well as their last reverse retro, which was ridiculously popular, then I think we end up seeing it at some point as the Capitals' main logo, or maybe it replaces the eagle they currently have on the shoulder. Now, the current secondary logo that Washington has is fantastic. I'm not sure why they haven't put that on the front of a jersey. Do one of your classic designs, even like this color of blue. Put the eagle they currently have on their shoulder on here. Have their current primary logo on the shoulders. That could look really nice. And then, here's the thing. It's retro, and it's reversed. You could say, well, we reverse which logos are on the front. Is it technically reversed? Who cares, right? Not who cares. But, and again, people say, well, earlier in the video you said, no, I'm talking about laziness, which is just changing one color on the jersey and not actually changing the look of it very much. If you put that secondary they currently have on the front of this, that changes the look quite a bit. You don't have to have the Capitals word mark on the front. Like I said, word marks end up everywhere. There were years that they had the word mark. There were years they didn't as well. But, yeah, so there you go. We'll see how well that one sells. My guess is it sells very, very well. And finally, I got what I wanted. The Winnipeg Jets will be using this logo on a reverse retro jersey this year. It looks like they'll be using the colors of the current Winnipeg Jets. Sign me up. I'm a big fan of that. I'll get one. I'll get one for my wife as well because she's very excited to see this on a jersey. Now, with the other logo, they chain stitched the logo. I wonder if they'll try that with this one as well. It makes it look more classic. It gives it it's something different. The problem was, of course, their last reverse retro was gray and nobody wanted it. So this time around, hopefully, and I say that because you can still find it for sale years later. So the fact that Toronto's and Winnipeg's are still pretty readily available if you look for them, the reality is they didn't sell that well. Pittsburgh's another one that didn't sell very well as well. I've seen them as recently as about 6 months ago still being available, keeping in mind some of the jerseys that were released with the last round of reverse retros sold out that first week. The thing was, there was only the one production run. We'll see if they do that again. And next time out, maybe they'll try borrowing from another league and do the city type jerseys, which I think can be fun. I think they can be done well. They've been popular in other sports. And I think if they did something along the lines of having some kind of a fan interaction where if you had each team have a contest, like, hey guys, what do you guys think would be a nice jersey for us to do a throwback to? Now, you can't leave it up to internet voting because you can't. Something like that would get hijacked quickly, right? And so you'd have, oh hey, we're Montreal fans, Boston's designs, they're all pretty good except that one. Let's vote for that one. So you could have like a top 10 of designs and then have management ownership decide which one to use. But I think that would be really popular. I'm really surprised that that hasn't been done. I always see concept jerseys. Some of them are loud and ugly that people go, oh, that's fantastic. And I look at it and I think, that's really loud and really obnoxious. I mean, yeah, they've never worn it before, but there's a reason. But yeah, so I'd like to see them get creative, and by get creative, I mean stealing the creativity of others. Give them a bit of a payout. Say here, whoever designs this jersey, you could give up. Each team could give, say, what, $5,000 to the winning design, and they're gonna make more than $5,000 on the jerseys, anyways. And then it's nice PR. It's good PR for the league. I'm really surprised they haven't done that. They could call it the concept edition, and you could have them just wear the jersey twice during the season, kind of thing, and give it like, hey, a fan of each team. You'd have 32 different fans who could say, I designed a jersey that was worn by National Hockey League players. I think it's just a winning formula, but we'll see, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you think it's a terrible idea, let me know. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And let me know where you think all these lie and which ones you're excited for and which ones you're kind of disappointed by. And when are they going to release these? Now that I'm doing this video, it has to be this week, right? But I was pretty sure to be before now. So I have no idea. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.